The console wars have existed since the dawn of time itself in 1970, but it wasn't until I was born that I began to care about these wars. Now as a child you only really had two options, Xbox or PlayStation. Now some of you may be sitting there and just thinking, what about the Wii? And you have a very valid point, but I think you should know that as a child, I was a complete dumbass. I would only play first person shooters, and if a game didn't have grown men calling me slurs with the absolute most muffled mic possible, I wasn't going to be playing that game.
Oh, riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield! Look at you, you're a stand of prestige! Shut up, your fucking voice box out your phone, son!
I saw the Wii as a baby's console. I watched Call of Duty being played on the Wii and thought, wow, this might be the worst console ever made.
Behind us!
But by looking at games that had been dragged onto the Wii when they clearly were not designed to be played on the Wii, I had missed out on some complete masterpieces. Mario Galaxy, Zelda Twilight, Donkey Kong Country, Mario Kart Wii, Wii Sports, Smash Bros, Mario Galaxy 2. What made the Wii special was a library of games crafted specifically to be played on this console for a unique experience Xbox and PlayStation couldn't offer. What's so funny is that Sony and Microsoft saw the success of motion controls and produced empty knockoffs with games that just simply flopped. Kinect had a couple average games, PlayStation in my opinion had absolutely nothing. The Wii had Mario Galaxy, Kinect had Kinectimals. What the fuck was this Xbox? After seeing these weak imitations, Nintendo said, look at these amateurs trying to copy us, get the hell out of here man. Now let's show them how a real company makes motion controls. And then Nintendo released their worst ever games console. Now there is a point for me talking about motion controls so much. What I'm trying to say here is hardware does not make a great console. Games do. You can build the most powerful machine on the market, give it every feature imaginable and market it as the future of entertainment. But if nobody desperately wants to play the games on it, what's the point? Now let's talk about the biggest point in the console wars. 2013, Xbox One versus PlayStation 4. Let me set the scene. Nintendo had moved into its own lane, dominating the market for family-friendly games. This meant Xbox and PlayStation were fighting for the rest. Xbox 360 had sold 84 million consoles, PlayStation 3 sold 87 million. Xbox had Halo, Gears of War, Fable, PlayStation had Uncharted, God of War, Twisted Metal. Xbox had a slick party chat feature along with a much more ergonomic controller than PlayStation, but the console did have a tendency to just fucking die for no reason. All of these reasons meant that this was a close battle as both consoles had great features and both of them had clear room for improvement. Both companies had a chance to take control of the market, both had a chance to learn from their past mistakes, and both had a chance to show gamers why their console should be the home of gaming. Sony, naturally, they looked at their weaknesses, and with PlayStation 4 they went for better specs, cross-game party chat, and a much improved controller. And most importantly, they invested in developing games. Now the launch games of PlayStation were not amazing, but eventually they would create some masterpieces. It was a strong pitch from PlayStation. Xbox needed to respond with a bang. They needed to bring out the big guns for the launch of Xbox One. So what did they do? They shat the fucking bed. Xbox somehow fucked up every single thing. Firstly, the name. Xbox One was a stupid name, it was the third console. Secondly, the Kinect being bundled. It priced up the console by $100 for something most people didn't even want. Voice commands had no use. The only use that they've ever had is for my friends to rage bait me by turning my console off with Xbox off.
Xbox off.
Forcing people to buy this was another level of greed. Thirdly, you had to check in online regularly, at least once every 24 hours. This felt completely pointless, especially if you only played single player games, which a large portion of players only did. 4. Used games. Now Xbox were not new to scumbaggery, they had a history of it. So trying to remove the ability to share games by connecting each disc to a console was pretty unsurprising for Microsoft. Sharing games was part of gaming culture, and again this showed how completely out of touch Xbox were by screwing over gamers, and a lot of stores were also screwed over as shares of GameStop dropped 13% after this announcement. Number 5. TV.
TV. Anybody?
Xbox looked around at the gaming community and asked, what do these people want? Do they want better games, better exclusives, higher performance, a stronger launch lineup? Nah, these guys just want to sit there and watch TV. No, we fucking didn't. That was not innovation, that was insulting, and this was the worst case of Xbox completely missing the mark. I could go on about the reveal of Xbox One, but the real damage was what it revealed about Xbox's priorities. Xbox wasn't focused on its games. PlayStation revealed at their launch that they just weren't scumbags and stated you wouldn't need to be online, you could share games, and it cost $100 less. Xbox's reputation was ruined. They had gone from virtually 50-50, neck and neck with PlayStation, to PlayStation doubling Xbox's sales. In the years to come, PlayStation 4 would build one of the greatest gaming libraries ever. Bloodborne, God of War, Uncharted 4, Spider-Man, Last of Us, many more. Xbox meanwhile have been responsible for thousands of layoffs with their developers, cancellations of really promising games, and running once beloved studios into the mud. Xbox is only getting worse. It's felt like they're just waiting for them to return to former glory without putting any real effort in. The problem with waiting is eventually people stop waiting with you. The worst part is, I loved Xbox as a kid. I grew up on Xbox. My first console was the original Xbox. I even commented on an Angry Joe rant 13 years ago with, "Shut up, you haven't even played it yet." I told you I was a dumbass. This is why Xbox screwing over their fans is so hard and hits me personally so hard, even this far on. The newest Halo game just sums up how far Xbox have fallen. Halo Campaign Evolved will launch on PlayStation 5 on day one, not even a delayed release. The huge player base of PlayStation simply cannot be ignored by Microsoft, and they are so far behind that it makes more financial sense for them to release the newest game in their biggest ever franchise, the franchise that put Xbox on the map, on PlayStation. This is basically the equivalent of Nintendo releasing a new Mario game on Xbox. In the console wars, there is no one winner, just a loser. The Steam Deck.